We've all got this life force, right? The energy that gets us out of bed in the morning. But what if I told you that for most of our lives, it's been flowing completely the wrong way?
Yeah, so let's jump right into this because it's a pretty wild idea. By default, you see, without any kind of training, our most vital energy, it naturally flows downwards. What does that even mean, and what are the consequences for our daily lives?
Okay, so this life energy, or Jivan Urja, is basically our core vitality. And its natural tendency, it's like water. It always flows down, always looking for the lowest point. In our bodies, that lowest point is our base energy center. And when all that energy pools there, it shows up as what's called Kam Vasana, or sexual desire. Now, this isn't about judging it as good or bad, not at all. Think of it like our factory default setting.
And you can really feel the difference in your own life. When the energy flows down and out, what do we feel? Drained, tired, maybe even a little sad or a sense of loss. But when you learn to reverse it, to make it flow upwards, the result is the polar opposite. We're talking about real joy, a feeling of vibrancy, and this incredibly deep sense of restfulness. So this brings us to a really critical choice. A lot of old traditions might tell you to suppress this energy, to crush it, but that's not the goal here. The real question is, are you going to try and weaken this incredible force inside you, or are you going to learn how to change its direction? And this is where things get really interesting, because it flips a common idea on its head. The goal isn't to become weak for the sake of spirituality, starving yourself or punishing your body just to kill desire. That's missing the point. Just look at this quote. True mastery isn't born from weakness. It comes from having supreme vitality and knowing what to do with it. So what's a good way to visualize this change? Well, think of your energy in its normal state as being like water. It just flows downwards, right? Always finds the lowest point, the easiest way out. The whole point of this practice is to transform that water into fire. Because what does fire do? It always rises. It always reaches for the heavens. That's the game, turning water into fire. Okay, so enough with the theory, right? How do we actually do this? How do we reverse the flow? Well, the first key is something you're doing right now, without even thinking about it. It's your breath. All right, here's the technique. It's simple, but really powerful. The next time you feel that energy pulling downwards, the first thing you do is just sit down calmly, okay? Then you're going to exhale, but not just any exhale, a forceful one. Push every last bit of air out of your lungs. And as you're emptying them out completely, suck your navel in and back, like you're trying to touch your spine with it. What this does is create a vacuum right there at your navel. You've heard this saying, nature abhors a vacuum, right? Well, that's true inside our bodies too. When you create that empty space at your navel, something amazing happens. The energy from your lowest center gets pulled up. It rushes upwards to fill that void, and the feeling is unmistakable. It's described as an arrow of vitality that shoots up and hits your navel. That drained feeling? Gone. Instantly replaced by this surge of power and health. But getting the energy to your navel, that's just step one. That's just lighting the match. From there, the fire begins its journey upwards, moving through different centers in your body. And with each new center it reaches, it unlocks something new within you. So as this energy climbs, it's like a key unlocking different doors. When it gets to the heart, it transforms into a kind of love you've never felt before. When it reaches the throat, it gives your words incredible power. And when it gets to the third eye, well, it completely changes how you see reality itself. Let's talk about the heart center, the Hriday. When the energy gets here, something profound shifts. Love stops being an action, something you have to try to do. It just becomes who you are. It's not about loving someone. You become a radiator of love, and it just flows out of you. No effort required. Then the journey continues up to the throat, the Kantha. And this is where your voice finds its true power. Suddenly, simple words sound like poetry. Your communication just lands differently. It has weight. Even when you're not speaking, your silence says something powerful. Your very presence starts to communicate. Now, this next one is huge. It's the difference between thinking and seeing. Philosophy, that's thinking about life. But darshan, that's vision. That's seeing life directly without the filter of your thoughts. When the energy awakens the third eye, the tisar netra, right between your eyebrows, you stop analyzing everything. You stop trying to figure it all out. You just see. So where does this all lead? This whole upward journey has a final stop. The energy, now completely transformed, reaches the very top of your head.
to a center called the Sahasrara. And when the energy gets there, it's not some small quiet event. The image they use is of a 1,000-petaled lotus suddenly bursting into full bloom. It's a symbol for the complete unfolding of your entire potential. And what comes with that? A state of bliss that's pretty much beyond words.
I mean, how do you even describe that level of intensity? The joy is so total, so overwhelming, that it can't be contained inside you. It literally overflows into your physical body, and your body just starts to dance with it. Your consciousness is dancing, and your body has no choice but to join in.
And in this ultimate state, the rule book gets thrown out. Joy isn't something that comes and goes. It's just there, all the time. Those things you used to fight, like anger or desire, you realize they weren't your enemies. They were just the raw fuel for this incredible bliss. You can find peace in the middle of a chaotic marketplace. All your doubts just dissolve. And maybe the most beautiful part, you see that nothing about you was ever a mistake. It was all part of the journey.
So after going through all of this, the downward pull, the upward journey, the potential for total transformation, it really all comes down to one simple, very personal question for you. Right now, in this moment, which way is your energy flowing?